Hello everyone, in 4.2.1 CRT gave us a new mission for the race for Stanton resource drive. Well, there are three major issues with this mission. First, queues. In last week's Inside Star Citizen, CRT made very clear there are no queues, there are no bottlenecks.
We might have overlooked the possibility that people would spend most of their gameplay time standing in queues, trying to buy what meager scraps there were from shops. So we made it a lot easier for you this time. It's not available in shops anywhere.
This event shouldn't be a bottleneck.
Tell me you don't know your own game without telling me you don't know your own game. Star Citizen is in year 13 with $1 billion in funding, and this was in January 2025. According to Carl Jones, but CRT hasn't even done the foundations, the basics of an MMO. We have queues leaving hangars, queues using ASOP, queues using freight elevators at outposts, queues using trade terminals, queues at the ship buy rent consoles, etc., etc. You have to design your game to be an MMO, Chris. Second, freight elevators. This mission relies on freight elevators, but freight elevators are in a sorry state since introduction. If you're lucky, you can find one that is working, but usually they are not. Some people found ways to break freight elevators, which should not be possible if CRT knew what they are doing. But even without people breaking freight elevators, they were very unreliable, even at best of times. I think one of the main issues with Star Citizen is Chris wants to physicalize everything, but he fails even at the most basic things. And it's not like everything is physicalized, drop a helmet and see what you get. And third topic of this video, griefing. We have this posting on our Star Citizen from Crew R9. Trolls are blocking cargo elevators of flipping ships when they land and having several more waiting for when someone pushes their ship out of the way. Yeah, this event looks like so much fun. CRT knew for many years they will increase the player cap, but they did nothing to prepare for this. Chris, you cannot just put 400 people onto a server shard and think, yeah, everything will be fine, there will be no trouble. And here's a Spectrum thread from Frank Unit 27. Breaking news, quick flare, the new griefing meta. Local murder hobo has started what seems to be the new griefing trend at local outposts by throwing active quick flare in innocent citizen ships and attaching them to their cargo grid. We ask the local murder hobo how and why did they start this new malicious griefing trend. Breath more? This just in, people are hovering with a Polaris above the freight elevator and the wind is so strong people can't remove boxes and barely able to walk. Eyewitness, I was totally blown away. Next at 11. You're sure? Can't forget to leave a med pen in the elevator, so only you can use it. It shows onto a med pad stolen on grid, so you can't lower it without moving the pen, but you can't see a med pen on the grid as it's inside the floor. Is this how you design a game? Physicalize everything but even fail at the most basic things, Chris? Maybe you should rethink your physicalize everything. People also break freight elevators by putting crates on top of the freight elevator. How is this even possible? How can you break a freight elevator by putting crates on top of it? Because CRT hasn't done even the bare minimum. On one hand, there's a lot of ambition. Hey, we want to physicalize everything. On the other hand, you cannot achieve this with cheap, young, inexperienced people who cannot find enough experienced people around them to learn from and to guide them. And this one is from my comment section on my resource drive video, The Better Man in Black. Dirtbag in an Idris spent an hour and a half tonight trying to kill me at Rhea Outpost on Salin. He tried to ram me as I came in, but I slipped by. I landed thinking I might be safe on the ground, but nope, he hit me again, but this time he pushed me into the cargo elevator, but I didn't die. A friend tried running some missions on his server, the elevators weren't working, and then somebody grounded, bailed, ran up the ramp of my friend's ship and took off. Unfortunately for him, my friend made it back aboard before he took off. Soon as he left the Nemesis zone, my friend blasted him and took his ship back. Yeah, in year 13 we still don't have any keys, we cannot lock our ships. Everyone who makes it onto the pilot seat has full control over your ship. For more than 8 years by now, CRT is saying captain of a ship can set permissions, who can do what, who can drive the ship, who can use the turret, who can use the toilet, but there's still nothing in the game.
When it comes to loading and unloading of cargo in space, docking arms for ships and in hangars, how do you plan to protect the player's ship from someone coming on board during a manual loading process and flying away or stowing away on board. Basically, how can players protect themselves during this vulnerable time?
Yeah, I think the bigger question is, how are you going to protect your ship and your cargo that's being loaded and unloaded on your ship?
And this comment from Moonshadow made me really sad. At this point, I uninstalled. Good luck with the game cam. Thank you for the years of content and calling them out. I'm done. Snow, what if Star Citizen is officially a dev nursery? Judging by the design mistakes and implementation, issues popping up again and again, it feels like many missions and maybe more are being handled by very junior developers. And honestly, if that's the case, why not just own it and market Star Citizen as a dev training ground? Yeah, I'm saying this for many years by now. CRG has lost way too many good devs. Not only John Pritchett is sorely missed, and CRG replaced them with cheap, young and inexperienced people. Now it's totally fine to give young, inexperienced people a chance. They need to start somewhere, but they need to have experienced people around them to learn from and to guide them, but not many of those are left working at Star Citizen. I don't know about motivations for griefing. Are you so unhappy with your real life that you are going into a game to grieve, to have fun, on expense of others? Or maybe you're unhappy with the state of the game, with the year of stability, playability and bug fixing, and want to send CRG a message? I don't think it's a good idea to send a message by harming the fun others have. Or maybe they just love to grieve. The recent massive shift to PvP everything doesn't exactly attract nice people. CRG needs to find a way to deal with this. We need policing forces, maybe human GMs, game masters we can contact, and they do something in real time. We had GMs back in 1997 in Ultima Online. Maybe CRG has to heavily instance Star Citizen. CRG increased the player count, something they knew it would be coming for more than 12 years by now, but CRG did nothing to prepare for this. Once again, Chris and CRG never have a plan, never have a concept, never think in advance, and never think things through. Queues. And for those who are saying, it's an alpha, well, CRG themselves call Star Citizen a live service game, and we are in year 13 with $1 billion in funding.
Is most pressing to my role and my job is that we're running a live service game in the middle of our development.
We're a live service.
This is a live service MMO game that we're building.
CRG has most of their people and their A-team still on Squadron 42. Well, what CRG considers their A-team. Only a skeleton crew and their B-team are working on the PU. Bottom line, Chris, CRG have not the slightest idea how to run an MMO. I think it is safe to assume that Chris doesn't give a fuck about the MMO part, the PU. Chris only cares about his dream to be a movie director in his interactive movie, Squadron 42. Yes, alpha, but we are in year 13, $1 billion, and we don't even see the foundations of an MMO. 2025, the year of stability, playability and bug fixing so far, is a joke. Oh, please, don't blame the devs. The devs don't even play Star Citizen, so how should they know about the sorry state of Star Citizen in year 13? Releasing 4.2.1 and Resource Drive was a management decision. I'm sure this involved Chris and Aaron. Chris and Aaron pushed this shit out of the door. Blame them. And please, stop throwing money into this fire until we see some real improvement. If CRG hasn't even done the basics of an MMO in year 13 with $1 billion, what hope is there they can do it with another $1 billion in another 13 years? Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye. Auf Wiedersehen.
You asking me to speak frankly, sir?
Yes. Well,
Well, sir, it's just that you're incompetent, sir.
Hey, you're still here. You might want to join me on Twitter or on Blue Sky.